Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? I'm Mysticle, and today I'm coming at you with the latest in XR news. I'm not sure how many of you have seen, but there has been some beautiful, brand new 3D renders floating around on the internet of the Quest 3, made by Marcus Kane in collaboration with Sadly It's Bradley. Of course, the Quest 3 hopefully being the next big consumer VR device. So today we're going to take a look at those, as well as specifications of the Quest 3, and a bunch of other things. So let's get right into the video. First things first, let's take a look at the Quest 3, which will hopefully be coming later on this year during the next Meta Connect. This is of course going to be the next big thing, the new consumer VR device that will hopefully have a consumer-friendly price tag, as well as being a lot more powerful than the Quest 2. Having pancake lenses, better displays, better weight distribution, probably better battery life as well. I mean, if you have a larger battery, you're probably going to want better battery life, better optimization, and all the good stuff. So let's dig right in. So as I said, these 3D renders were created by Marcus Kane in collaboration with Sadly It's Bradley. And you may be asking yourself, what kind of chances are there that these are going to be accurate? Well, let me show you something. This is their previous collaboration, where they created 3D renders of the Quest Pro before it was released. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. They got this one down pretty much 1:1. So I think it's fair to say that I have pretty high hopes that these renders are going to be accurate, and I do believe that this is pretty much what we're going to be getting with the Quest 3. Now, looking at the renders, there is a few interesting things here. First of all, let me tell you about the specs. From Sadly It's Bradley on Twitter, we know that the Quest 3 is going to use LCD displays with a resolution of 2064 by 2208. And yes, they are going to be LCD displays, not OLED displays. However, they will be running at 120 Hz at launch. So this will not be a future update coming or anything like that. Not only that, but the Quest 3 will also arrive with pancake lenses. Custom pancake lenses, the same ones used in the Quest Pro. Now, again, I do need to reiterate that these are all leaks, these are all rumors, but they're coming from very reliable sources. And looking at the headset itself, we do still seem to have a headphone jack, this time built into the hinge mechanism, which slightly worries me, but I guess there isn't too much movement in that, so hopefully it's not going to be too bad. We've got an IPD adjustment knob at the very bottom of the headset, and then the cameras in the front with the depth sensor. Overall, the device seems to be a lot slimmer than the Quest 2, hopefully meaning it'll be a lot lighter. Ty actually made a whole video 3D printing the device and trying it out on his head, and I must say, it looks pretty interesting. I do recommend you check that out right up here. At the bottom, we also have the volume adjustment and 3 little pogo pins, which will supposedly be used for a charging dock, which I assume will be sold separately. The charging port has also been moved onto the hinge mechanism of the headset, which again, I'm slightly worried about, but hopefully it doesn't cause too many issues. And the power button is now a round circular button instead of just being kind of an ovular shape. Then instead of the 4 cameras on the sides of the headset, we've only got 2, which makes me wonder how the headset would track the controllers above the head if you didn't buy the Quest Pro controllers, as I assume that this headset will come with controllers with light rings at the beginning, and then you can upgrade to Quest Pro controllers. Now, what's also interesting is it seems to have an IPD switch in there. You can see it's actually set to 2 right now, but it's also got an IPD adjustment knob, which confuses me because those two shouldn't exist together. Then we've got the headphones built into the strap, and the strap actually seems to be very similar to the one of the Quest 2, not the one of the Quest Pro, meaning this should be fully removable, and the battery isn't in the back. So it's looking like a very interesting headset, definitely slimmer and hopefully lighter than the Quest 2, as well as having more processing power and a much higher resolution. I'm very, very excited for this, and these renders are really sexy. Like, they're very high quality, so props to you guys for creating this. I'm super excited for this next new device coming, even if it's not going to be as big of a hit as the Quest 2 was, as many people already have the Quest 2, and a lot of those people just won't want to update and will want to wait for the next bigger thing. But I do think that the Quest 3 is going to pick up the market quite a bit. With that being said, next piece of news. Here's something that a lot of people were posting underneath our latest news video. Microsoft has killed off Altspace. So Microsoft has greatly reduced the size of its VR and AR team, and as well as that, apparently killed off Altspace. Altspace VR is shutting down in March as Microsoft decimated its teams working in VR and AR this week as part of a major workforce reduction across the entire company. Altspace was one of the early VR-based social networking services alongside others like Rec Room and VRChat. As an independent startup, Altspace ran out of money, but in 2017, Microsoft acquired it and continued the effort. Microsoft says it is shifting our focus to support immersive experiences powered by Microsoft Mesh. So yeah, I myself was never really big into Altspace. I didn't spend a lot of time there, and judging by the comments posted by people underneath the latest video, a lot of you are actually surprised that it survived as long as it did. But it is still unfortunate to see one of the first social VR platforms disappearing from the internet. Does that mean that VR is dying? Absolutely not. It's just certain companies do better than others in the space, and that's the case in every space. And I know that some people are going to flip it around and be like, hey, look, this company was in VR and they're now gone. Clearly, VR is dying. But I know a lot of people are going to be completely unsurprised by this. Others are going to be sad, and others are just going to completely not care about it. But still, there's no denying the fact that Altspace going away as one of the first social VR platforms out there, to me, is kind of sad. With that being said, next piece of news. The Apple headset will apparently have its interactions driven by eye tracking and the finger pinch combo. We've already seen some pretty interesting ways that eye tracking could be made to interact with games, titles, apps, all the good stuff, especially in the PlayStation VR trailer, where you got an orbital menu and you were able to select things on it using eye tracking. I think that's really, really cool. And a new report from Bloomberg's Mark Gurman provides more details on Apple's upcoming mixed reality headset, including information on its core interaction mechanism. According to Gurman, Apple's headset will use eye tracking and hand tracking technology in tandem to drive a system that allows the wearer to control the device by looking at an on-screen item, whether it's a button, app, icon, or list entry to select it. Once selected with their gaze, users can then pinch their thumb and index finger together to activate the task, without the need to hold anything. That's pretty interesting. Of course, until now, we've only had hand tracking in order to do that, especially on Quest devices. Even on the Quest Pro, eye tracking is not yet utilized to what I would call its full potential. The Quest Pro could totally do something like this, and you could definitely have it select things on the menu, or maybe have an experimental feature where you look at something and you can use that pinch gesture with your hand in order to select it. Don't get me wrong, hand tracking on Quest has gotten to a point where I'm more than happy using it instead of controllers, but actually using that eye tracking that they've added would be really, really cool, especially in situations like that orbital menu where eye tracking could come in really handy and just feel super natural. You know, you're looking at something, you obviously want to select it and then just confirm with that pinch gesture. I think Apple going into the VR and AR space is quite controversial. A lot of people are very happy about it. I want to see them succeed because I think that if they succeed, other companies will succeed, and other people actually want quite the opposite. A lot of people think they shouldn't be in the space at all, and I mentioned this pretty much every video we talk about Apple and the VR and AR space in, as yeah, Apple has brought a lot of controversial things to the phone market, including removing the headphone jack and then removing the charger from the box and the notch. Yeah, they've had a lot of interesting decisions, and a lot of companies followed. It's just the way things go. But I do think that if they manage to utilize eye tracking correctly in their headset, it's going to be a big, big hit. Let me know what you think about that down below. Among Us VR, a game that a lot of people were super hyped for when it was first announced, and apparently it was worth the hype, as Among Us VR has hit a major milestone: 1 million copies sold. Yes, a lot of people were like, yeah, Among Us is dead, but what you've got here is proof that a lot of people are still very interested in the game. You've still got new people coming on every day trying out the game. Shell Games announced Among Us VR has reached a major milestone, selling 1 million copies since launch. First released last November, Shell confirmed that Among Us VR achieved these sales less than 10 weeks after launch, detailing some community statistics through a blog post. It also confirmed the game's been played more than 4 million times, averaging 44,000 matches a day with players, claiming that more than 89,100,000 minutes have been dedicated to tasks, sabotages, and betrayal. That's seen crewmates from over 122 different countries join in. That is super, super impressive. 44,000 matches a day really shows you that the game is not yet dead. And the only reason I'm mentioning it's dead is because so many people in the comments section tell me it's dead. Yeah, Yeah, to a lot of people it might be, but the numbers speak for themselves. There's a lot of people playing Among Us VR on the Quest, and having a great time doing so. Not only that, but Shell has got big plans going forward too. Alongside last month's big update, which fixed numerous bugs and connectivity issues, Shell has recently revealed its Among Us VR 2023 roadmap, which you can check out in the link down below. Here's one for the Half-Life fans out there, and I know that there's a ton of you. The Half-Life 2 VR mod will soon add Episode 1 for free. Half-Life Episode 1 is heading to PC VR, joining the base game as a free Steam mod in Q1 of 2023. Following the Half-Life 2 VR mod release last September, the Source VR mod team previously revealed plans to support Episode 1 and 2 in a roadmap. Now it looks like Episode 1 will arrive soon. To quote, "Today we are finally ready to announce that Episode 1 is scheduled for release later in Q1 of 2023. The episodes will get separate Steam pages similar to the original episodes. The pages are currently in preparation, and we will update you as soon as they are available," the team confirmed. Half-Life was a massive series, and I think it's a good proof that if a VR mod is done correctly, it can bring a game to a completely new life. And yeah, Half-Life 2 is an older title, but I think playing it in VR is a completely different experience to playing it on a flat screen, which means that all the fans of the Half-Life series can now replay the game and feel like they're playing a completely new game while they're actually reliving memories, which I think is really incredible. Either way, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please do leave a like. If you disliked it, I guess this button works too, but let me know why down in the comment section below. If you guys are not yet part of our community, check out our Discord down below and check out our Reddit, where I want to see you posting your spicy memes. Thank you so much to the Patrons supporting this channel. You guys help me out a ton, paying my bills, paying my subscriptions, and helping me make these videos better. And as usual, if you guys want to be notified about future content coming up on the channel, make sure to smack the subscribe button with your forehead, ding my bell, and see you again in the next video. Peace.